Right, so today we're going to talk about Heartstopper, so yes. The first part of this video does not include the books at all. The first part of this video is my thoughts of season. So season 1, I really enjoyed it. It was just such a good concept. I rewatched the whole thing several different times and I remember just binging it the first day it came out. So the first season makes up volume 1 and 2, and what I'm really worried about is that we have books 3 and 4 and they're quite a bit bigger than the first book alone, and what I really don't want them to do is to just kind of take these two and make them like one season altogether, because I feel like these two books, this is my favourite and this is also my other favourite. They're all my favourite. I can't choose, but definitely this one. Anyway, I feel like these ones are very content heavy and the whole purpose of it is like it stands alone as a book, so I don't see why it can't stand alone as a series. Anyway, so I really liked season 1. I loved how they incorporated the animation. For example, on the cover there's the leaves and they had the backpack. Oh, there's a sticker on that. And it didn't seem forced, like the animation went with it. I also really enjoyed how they did, I kind of liked how they changed the series a bit to the books, because I understand that they need quite a lot more drama, because I feel like the conflict in the books really happens in 3 and 4 of this. So another thing I really liked was how they brought together 1 and 2 as well, because I really just loved how they incorporated more scenes. It was just such a good season, and I'm trying to think of what else to say because I would definitely remember it. Oh yes, transgender visibility. I feel like it had such good representation, like a transgender character playing a transgender character, and that actress who plays her is so beautiful. I forgot her name, I'm so sorry, but she is just beautiful and amazing and I loved her so much. Like, she was so funny. Oh my gosh. Another thing I really liked was how much this season brought together like loads of people, like straight people, like LGBT people, and if I'm being honest, I remember seeing the Rotten Tomato and loads of people were talking about it and they were like, this series has not got a lot of hate, and I honestly thought that like this series, I wasn't saying like it was going to go downhill, but I just honestly thought there was going to be quite a lot more hate, because it's kind of, you know, there's always homophobes, so you're always going to get stuff like that. But I think they chose the cast really well, that they really looked like who they were playing, and you definitely got a sense of just, you got to know the characters and it was really, really nice. So I watched the series before the books, and I kind of see the series and books as two separate things. Like, I definitely know that they're collective, but I see the books as more of a calm kind of nature and the series as a more like sudden thing and more tension built and suspenseful, which is honestly what a film normally is. Like, there's loads of examples of books. For example, Harry Potter, there were several moments like nearly had a snake's death day in the first book, spoilers for that, and they didn't incorporate that in the books, or Peeves or any of that, and it was in the film, sorry, and it was annoying. But it's kind of like, the books is your imagination and the series is not, and it all depends on funding and everything like that. Another thing I really liked about the series, which I didn't actually realise until I read the books, was the comic nature. So for example, there's a scene where Nick is, I'll try and find it, where Nick is doing the Am I Gay quiz. I don't know if it's in this book. No, it's in the second one. Give him a moment, guys. Like, I'll show you one of my favourite bits. I really hope this doesn't get copyrighted. That one. I've seen so many TikToks of like incorporating the books and the series together, and I just find it so cool. Did he do the quiz in this book? Have I skipped it? But yeah, quite a lot in the series they did incorporate just a comic feel, you know. They had the right music. Oh my gosh, there was MX Tunes. Who else? There was so many just lovely soundtracks and music and I remember just listening to this music all the time when I was doing my chores, and it was just so nice because they just picked just such a lovely collection. They had like Girl in Red, that was amazing. But yeah, I really liked how they definitely they kept such the same atmosphere as the books as well, definitely with that. So I'm trying to make this like 10 minutes long, so then when I do the second part it's not like a 45-minute video like my Stranger Things one. I forgot so many of their names. I need like, at the end of her books there's sometimes just a character like info bit, and I find it's just so nice because I forget their names. I do that in a lot of things, like if I don't watch the show enough I forget everybody's names and it all goes downhill. Okay, because they have like, oh there we go, they have character profiles in the books. Elad, is that his name? So I really feel like I loved Tori. Tori was she's so funny. I relate to her so much because I'm an older sister, so I was just like, oh, sibling, I'm an older sibling. God, I was gendering myself, Jesus. When I was watching the series, I really liked Isaac and I love his character. And I was a bit confused on why they didn't have Elad, but I really feel like, I don't know why they didn't include him. But yeah, so there was I'll just talk about it because I can't find it, but there was a scene where they incorporated the comic book feel, and I think people did comparisons to the comic, the book and the series, and they were like, this scene is similar, like it definitely had a comic book feel. And it's kind of like there was this Incredible Hulk film, and that had a comic atmosphere, but people didn't like the film because of it. But with this series it really worked. There was something I really wish they would change, and I'm going to speak about that now. So in the series, well, the books, I'll try to find the scene, but there's, God, it's like, I didn't write a script for this, and I really need to learn to do that. So a few things I would definitely say they need to incorporate into, oh my God, the teacher in the series. I was just there like, I love him so much. I think I started crying because I just appreciate his character so much. Like, I was just sobbing at my phone. I really hope that they actually keep the romance of the teachers in like the next season. And the PE teacher as well. Oh my gosh, there are so many things. But I think there was Nick's friends, and I'll try and find like the part where they're included. What's his name? His name's Oliver, right? Yeah, Oliver. They should have included Oliver. Why didn't they include him? I found them. They should definitely include in season 2. Okay, you can't see that. Can you see it? Christian, Sai, and Otis. I really feel like they were so sweet. I feel like in season 1, they should shed some light about how there were people in their team who were definitely like, they knew about it or they had a feeling but they didn't say anything. And yeah, I am really excited for season 2 because, as I said before, volume 3 is my favourite book. I love how they went to Paris and the Paris gang was there and it was so fun. And just the whole concept of like, there were conflicts, and also Darcy and Tara, I believe their names are, they're so funny. Oh my God, there's so many just lovable characters in this series. So I feel the need to talk about the books because there definitely won't be another part to this. But definitely my hopes for season 2 is they definitely incorporate volume 3, and maybe they can add a bit of like drama or whatever, like extra series, scenes or something. But I definitely really wish they'd add Christian, Otis, and Sai. I might be pronouncing Sai's name wrong. I'm so sorry if I am. Let's talk about the books because I really like the books. In volume 1, let's just go through the different books. Volume 1, I just really liked the concept of how it wasn't forced, it wasn't a rushed romance in the book. It definitely was based on like confusion and just like both of them being like in love and blah blah blah. Also, they didn't romanticize sexual assault, and you might be like, what you want about? In some really cringy films from like the early 2000s, they romanticize like concepts and just really bad things which should not be romanticized at all. But they don't. In Heartstopper, they didn't romanticize it. It was like, Ben's in the wrong. Ben's done something wrong. No sympathy for Ben. He's not a bad guy, as in like he's the villain. no, he's not a bad character either. He's just someone that I'm really glad that they didn't romanticize or make us feel sorry for him, because it's kind of like, he is in the wrong. He's definitely in the wrong. Like, it's not right to do what he did. This is not being mean to the actors. Like, I know that the characters and actors are separate things. The actors of Heartstopper are just so sweet and they're so nice. And there was a pride parade, and I believe some of them were dancing in front of homophobes, which I found very funny. So yes, if any of you see this, which I really hope you do or don't, because it's cringy for me, but yeah, they're awesome. The show's awesome. The casting was awesome. Like, everything was awesome. It's kind of like, oh, I remember seeing people talk about this. People are like, Heartstoppers, like, they're really calm, like, loving, just like emotional series, and then they were like, Young Royals is the more mature, like, a more drama-filled series. I love Young Royals. I will definitely be doing a video about that, because I think season 2 of Young Royals is coming out on November the 2nd. I might be wrong, I saw it on a YouTube comment. I think I really liked about the second book was the introduction of new characters, how there were loads of hidden stories in the books, and definitely how they didn't just have... Gotta think about this. In some other films as well, they've always had like, oh, the people who are in love are never in the wrong, or this character's never in the wrong, this character can never be in the wrong. And it's like, no, because there is responsibility in the books, and there's definitely like, this person's in the wrong and this person's in the wrong, but you know, I really just enjoyed it, and the whole concept of the first 2 books was like really nice. Okay, let's talk about the third book. So with the third book, I think I really liked it because of the teachers. Does that stand? It stands up! Let's go! And I just say this isn't sponsored by Heartstopper. I'm just an obsessed teenager. Just a teenager talking about one of my favourite series and books. I could talk about Harry Potter for hours if you guys want. But anyway, what I really liked about the third one is definitely just the whole point of romance, and it was about like coming out. And I really liked how they didn't rush it, because quite a lot in films it's kind of like, this character wants to come out, the other character doesn't want to come out, the one that doesn't want to come out is in the wrong. And it's really no, because they're both valid. Like, this person wants to come out, but they respect the decision that the other character doesn't want to come out. And it was just so nice and really sweet, and I loved how they came out. Just, that might have been the second one. Also, there was a scene, I think it was with Harry, where he came to apologise, and I loved how in the book they just didn't give him any sympathy either. Like, maybe they could in the series, tiny bit, I don't know, I don't really mind, but I really liked how in the book they were like, nope, he's out of here. I really liked the teacher dynamic, the whole situation of it, you know, realisation. It was just, the thing with Alice Oseman, I might be saying that wrong, I'm so sorry, but she definitely expands on a main thing. Like, she doesn't go on with stereotypes, like there may be a few, but she doesn't expand on the stereotypes and make her whole story about these 2 characters. It definitely has a world of different characters and friendships and romance and quarrels and rivalries, and it's just such a calming book to read. I definitely like how they incorporated the signs of Charlie's eating disorder, and definitely I really liked how they had like it was just such a change between, in this book there's like, you know, the comic stereotype, like that normal representation, and then when it came to him feeling faint, the bubbles changed and everything was just really hard to see and really hard for me as a reader to read, and I really liked that. Also, I loved how it was just so sweet, you know. I definitely think towards the end it was kind of just like, you know, they're in love, they came out, the teachers got together, you know, all that good stuff. The fourth one I think is I really struggled to read this, mainly because I think when anything with mental health is incorporated, it was just so much, and I think this book took me, I read all of these in a day. I'm gonna be honest, I read all of these in a day, maybe a few hours, and I was done, and then I just kept on rereading them. But what I really liked about the fourth one was definitely how it included a lot more angst. It definitely showed that like homophobes exist. It's like in most films that it's either like there's homophobes everywhere, nobody's supportive, or like it's so supportive there are no homophobes. And what also I really think Alice does as well is quite a lot in things definitely with LGBT. The whole purpose of those LGBT characters is basically the, like, let's say, I'm not gonna name any films, I don't know, this random character, and he could be gay, and then the whole series would be about him being gay, and there's no other issues at all, and if there is, they're only slightly mentioned. But what Alice does is she's like, yeah, they're gay, so what, who cares, you know, not the main focus of the story. The main focus is self-acceptance. It's not all about, oh, they have the perfect relationship. It opens up to issues and mental health and the just struggles of growing up, which is definitely a coming of age story for me personally. I think I started crying once I finished it, because I definitely remember reading these books, and I don't want to comment on like Charlie's mental situation, but I really preferred that they added in a homophobic person, because I really feel like it's such, like, you can never be too far from a homophobe. Like, there's always going to be homophobic people, and this shed light on it. Also, I love how in the, other than the first one, in the books, they always have, I'll try and show you, they always have, ooh, okay, almost dropped them. Okay, so they always have, like, includes Tara and Darcy's stories, includes Teacher's mini comics. This was in the wrong order. Includes Teo and Ellie mini. Oh my gosh, Teo and Ellie, they're so cute! Is it Elle? I've been saying Ellie, God. Elle. Teo and Elle, they're such a cute couple, and it's kind of like, I think another stereotype as well is if someone's transgender, they must be connected to the same gender. Like, for example, I honestly, in some films they're like, oh, this person's trans, but it's completely fine. But I loved how they incorporated, like, a transgender person can be straight as well, which you don't normally see in media. And if you guys have, I don't know what media I'm listening to at all. Alice does such a good job with her books. Definitely in the series you could see how they added the animations to make it seem more like the books. They added the comic strip kind of atmosphere, they added the bad characters, they maybe swapped some characters, and that's completely fine. I was a bit confused, like, after reading, I watched the series and I was like, okay, that was great, read the books and I was like, oh, so there was a bit more drama and they took out some characters. Please, I'm begging you, do not take out the teachers. Like, they're so cute. I think my profile picture on I just really like the teachers, guys. They're so nice and sweet and just they're polar opposites, but they're so cute, and oh my gosh, I was just there like, that's adorable. I definitely think if I could go back in time and tell my 12-year-old self to read these books before it came out, I definitely should have read these books when I was little. I believe they might have been out when I was 12, but that was a few years back. God. Anyway, I really wish that these books were around, definitely. Well, I wish I read them earlier. And the reason for that is definitely when I was growing up and I was surrounded by so much content of LGBT and stuff, I confused myself and I really struggled with the concept of, like, you don't have to come out. And these books really show that, like, you don't need to come out. Like, you may have figured out a label, you may not use labels, you may not like any labels, and that's completely fine. And these books reinstate that. They're just like, yes, it's completely fine to be who you are. You don't have to come out. You don't have to be a secret. You don't have to, like, it showed healthy relationships, unhealthy relationships, how healthy relationships have their issues and have their problems. No romanticization of any kind, of any bad situation. There was bullying, there was homophobia, there was transphobia, there was maybe some other things I'm missing. Mental health. It was just, it's not such a book series or a series in general where they just flat out say it's so positive or it's so negative. It's a balance of life, and I really liked it. And I really wish I read these when I was younger, because I would definitely, reading them now, it's kind of like, there's some books that don't transform you as a person, and then there are books that do transform you in your beliefs. And I really feel like these, okay, I need to get them all back together now. So book one, I'm going to go through what they taught me. So book one taught me that bad things happen to anyone of any age, and the best thing to look out for is someone who is willing to protect you. And it showed you it showed me like the confusion and how not everything, like, you don't just figure out you're gay like that. There's so many films where this does happen for people, where they're like, oh, I always knew I was gay, or I always knew I was bi or pan or ake or ace or asexual or trans or blah blah blah. But there's also, I feel like that's a stereotype really, that like you automatically know, and if you don't then no. But I definitely think for me personally growing up, I didn't know, and there's definitely a lot of people that just had no idea or like got confused, and this book just kind of reinstated you don't need to figure it out so early, and if you do then okay, and you don't need to come out. Definitely, this is someone else's quote I believe, but the thing with loving each other like someone else is you need to love yourself as well, and I think that's definitely the first step. Like, these books reinstate that you need to learn to accept yourself, and they definitely said, you know, it's not a quick process. You're not just going to quickly go like, I love myself. Like, insecurities exist, low self-esteem exists, low self-confidence. I also really liked how they had Tori as well, because I definitely feel like in the books it isn't just like, oh, she's the older sister, that's her whole role. No, it's like she has her issues, she has her problems, and I know I've only read the comic books, like I keep on calling them comic books, graphic novels, whatever, but I definitely think I should buy the other books. I feel like this whole universe just expands, and Alice doesn't just go with one thing in her books, she goes and expands on many different things. So for example, in 2, it definitely taught me, you know, you don't have to come out if you're not ready, you know. There were definitely so many people I knew who were just like, oh, I didn't come out until I was comfortable. And then there were other people who were like, oh, I came out when I figured it out and I wasn't comfortable to come out, but I felt the pressure and most people were telling me, you need to come out. This book was just like, you don't need to come out unless you're ready. You don't need to have, like, definitely in this book it did show that like Nick didn't want to be that public about it. And if he wanted to be public about it, he wanted to take it like slowly being public about it. And it definitely, I think with Tara and Darcy in this book as well, and just in this whole concept of her books, I will probably expand on this more, but it just has the whole concept of like, you don't have to come out, you don't have to come out. If you do come out, it shows like there's gonna be homophobia, there's gonna be some annoying people in the world who just automatically change their mind. And you don't know why, but they think like that, and they are like that, and you kind of just have to deal with it or ignore them. And I really just feel like Tara and Darcy was such an example of that. These books don't just go, oh, everything's like fine, it's like everything changes, everything is different. The third book, I really I love how I'm saying this up. They definitely mentioned like mental health issues, like expanded on like, yes, they might be public with their friends, but they're not public with the school or the people around them, and when they did come out, it didn't feel forced, it didn't feel pressurized, it was just them being comfortable. And I definitely think in the fourth book, it does, like, the fourth and third definitely expand on like, a relationship isn't perfect, you know, no relationship is perfect, and it was just breaking down those stereotypes of like, every relationship is perfect, and if it's not perfect, then it's not the healthy. No, a healthy relationship isn't perfect. Like, if it's a healthy relationship, if a relationship is too perfect or too unperfect, then it's not healthy. Balance is an important key of life, you know. In these books, it teaches you about balance and change, and how life is, like, if most of the time in novels there's like too much good stuff outweighs the bad stuff, and this kind of just levels it out, where it's like, they have their good moments and they have their bad moments, they have their friendship issues, they have their relationship issues, they have the homophobia and hate, they have the love and the disagreements. This might just be me and my thought process, but when people are like, oh, it's this LGBT thing, you normally, it's kind of like, oh, the LGBT relationship is shadowed. And with these, it's kind of like, no, it wasn't shadowed, it was just a representation of how there can be bisexual people can be in a relationship with, like, let's say it's a bisexual man, and can be in a relationship with a straight woman and still be bisexual. I'm trying to post for the okay. So anyway, this was my just thought process about the series and the books and how I thought about them. I'm basically posting this because I feel like the books were such a nice thing, and definitely when I buy the novels and I read through them, I will comment and do the links as well with that. I feel like just this showed the whole concept of family and of acceptance and people not accepting you. Alice, you're a wonderful author. You definitely have a way with words and with representation, and you are amazing at drawing. God, you're amazing at your books. They definitely have a balanced out concept. You didn't shy away from anything. It was just it wasn't romanticizing mental illness or situations which aren't good for you, and it's just such a healthy balance, and I love your books. I love you. You're amazing. Also, the people for the series, like everyone, you did such a good job. It was such an amazing series. It was just such an amazing series, and it had the presence of the volumes in that. It didn't shy away from anything, and if it did, then it's just time and funding and budget. But I really hope that, I'm so proud of this thing. Like, I remember seeing these books when I was like 13, maybe 14, and just going, oh, I won't read them yet. Like, I want to read this book or finish it, and I kept on putting it off. And then when the series came out, it was definitely just it transformed me as a person, which doesn't happen a lot. Well, it does, but I think you did such a good job because I haven't seen a lot of hate about it. I am like speechless. Books were amazing. The series was amazing. This helped me, this helped so many other people, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you really... Oh, are you guys okay? Thank you guys for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next week with a new video. Anyway, love you guys, you're amazing. I'm proud of you all. Have a great day. Love you guys. Okay, bye. 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 Okay. There's so many interruptions. Oh my god. But like, wait. The Stranger Things one was planned out, and I remember watching it and just being like, why am I saying like a lot? Oh, that's that's not the book. Okay. I'm not crying, I'm laughing.